Keep the lamp burning throughout the winter night, $13. The small jobs that helps you get across the line, $7. Oil the cutting block, $10. Have a baby smooth skin, $3. The satisfaction of discovering something new, priceless. There are something money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. No, this is the wrong line. Sorry. There are something money can't buy. For everything knife related, there's Knives and Stones. What's up guys, James here from Knives and Stones. I'm sure you've just seen that little commercial that I played and maybe just wondering what the hell is going on with James. I'm watching a knife related channel and you're playing a video about some oil. Yes, in fact, I introduced 4 different kind of liquid in that commercial. So the first one is this liquid paraffin oil. And what it does is it's actually used as a type of fuel and the lubricants are sealer, and you can see you can use it as a lamp oil. So paraffin oil used as lamp oil. I bought this at a local hardware shop. It costs liquid paraffin oil $13 for 1 liter. So the next one that I bought, introduced, is this liquid paraffin. Again, liquid paraffin, but this is pharmaceutical grade. So what I bought this from a local pharmacy, and you're supposed to drink it because what it does is it helps your constipation. It just, get the poo out of your body. So the third oil that I introduced is this IKEA board oil or skid, IKEA, whatever. And yep, it is used as a lubricant or basically just some sort of oil to recondition your cutting board in this case. So what it really is, if you Google around, it's basically just mineral oil. And what is mineral oil? It's really the same as paraffin oil. We'll go to that later. So again, the same things. And yeah, it costed me $10. And lastly, we have this. Yep, self-explanatory. It's baby oil for moisturizing baby or adult skin. And the ingredient is mineral oil. Again, mineral oil, perfume. Cost me, this is quite cheap. Okay, so it cost me $2.40. And again, it's 500 millimeters. We are pretty much buying the same kind of stuff, except when it is selling as a different product, it costs differently. And obviously, baby oil is the cheapest. But the paraffin oil that's for human consumption, it's the same thing, but labeled as for human consumption as a constipation aid, it costs most expensive. So why I'm sitting here and trying to tell you all about this information? Well, the world is full of marketing bullshit. Really, what we have to do is think about what is behind the product. What are you really buying? Sometimes we just have to see through these things, these marketing materials on the service to find out exactly what's behind that. It's the same as buying a knife. Sometimes we just have to see through what is on the service, being, different brand, some brand that you may have heard of, some are more reputable, some are more expensive. But what's behind that? Are you buying, a good steel? Or are you buying from a good maker? Maker being who's the forge smith, who's the sharpener, and that those information are more important just than what's on the surface. Anyway, let's come back to the original topic of this video. What's the reason? Why are you talking about this mineral oil? And yes, on today's episode, what I'm trying to introduce is to use this mineral oil to replace this. I'm sure most of you would recognize this is the Japanese Tsubaki oil or Camellia oil. We use this type of oil to prevent rust forming on our carbon knives. So what you do is every time you use your carbon knife, you clean it, you wipe it dry, and then you put a thin layer of this Camellia oil on top to prevent it from getting rust. These guys, they are not cheap. On our website, we sell them for, I think, a bit over $10, maybe 12, something like that. And it's 100 ml only. In comparison, the most expensive liquid paraffin for human consumption is only $7 for 200 ml. And now you may be asking, of course it's going to be a lot cheaper, $10 for half a liter compared to more than $10 for 100 ml. So that's more than 5 times the price. But do they function the same? And this is something that we will find out. Okay, let's talk about the reasons that we can use the mineral oil to replace the Camellia oil. First of all, what does this Camellia oil do? Well, it's basically, applied to the surface of the knife and prevent rust forming. Any oil would pretty much do it. Mineral oil or even just cooking oil. But why we can't use cooking oil, why we have to use Camellia oil or mineral oil is because of their second property. They are pretty much inert and they will not react to moisture, to oxygen around, so it won't oxidize, therefore it won't go rancid, right? So it won't spoil, it won't become stinky over time. And that's very, very important because if you want to do some long-term storage, then you have to make sure your beloved knife is covered with oil that is not going to smell, which is very important. And lastly, it is not harmful to humans, right? So, if you touch it or even if you consume a bit, it's going to be all right. Look, these guys, see what's drawn here. It's for cutting boards. It's supposed that goes into your calories. You can get in contact with them, and if you consume a little bit, it's going to be okay. There are other use of them as well, Good stuff. Really, these are the properties that we look for when we apply the Tsubaki oil. In fact, the baby oil is the cheapest option. However, most of us would not like to have the fragrance in our knife, so we discount that. The paraffin oil, it's probably okay for your knife. I mean, these are industrial made, and we are just not sure if it is safe for human consumption or contact. I would say it's probably 99% okay for human to get in contact with them. However, we just don't know if it is 100% medical grade. So if we look on eBay or Amazon here in Australia or in the United States, in a local pharmacy, you will see a ton of different options and basically labeling this as medical grade mineral oil. Then you can go with those because they are safe for human consumption. Here in Australia, I find the cheapest way is still go on to Amazon. So let's find out how do these guys work. And it's basically the same as what you would use on this. And I sometimes just use these guys on a bare wood. A whole wood saya tends to get dirty really, really quickly. So one good use of, well, these guys are cheap, you can use it on anywhere basically. You can use it to oil your knife, oil to care of your wood, just a little bit. And just apply the oil like so. Okay. And that's it. You see the difference? So see that? And this is looking already a lot darker than this guy here. Treated, untreated. So on today's episode, I introduced some of these alternative products to the popular Tsubaki oils that we use to prevent rust forming on our knives and to care some of our wooden handles and cutting boards. And I find the alternatives works the same if not better than the Tsubaki oil, and more importantly, they are readily available and very cheap to get from the online stores and your local hardware and pharmacies. And if you find this video useful and interesting, please give me the good old thumbs up and consider subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.